Hey guys, it's Kara and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video, I'm just gonna talk about like how it's been going for me and how I've been feeling because I've kind of had a lot happen in the last few weeks. So it was my birthday almost 2 weeks ago, so I'm 28 now. I feel like my birthday was kind of like okay. Like I feel like the day of my birthday was fine. Like we had a little dinner for my birthday and everything, and I got some nice cards and some presents. And that was nice, but I also did feel sad and I did like cry a little bit because it was like the first birthday without my grandmothers because both my grandmothers passed away. One of them passed away last year on October 10th, and then my other grandma, she passed away this year in April. So I was kind of sad about that because it was like my first birthday that they like couldn't physically be part of. So that made me feel kind of sad. So that was tough. And then this past Friday, I feel like I had like a breakdown or like a midlife crisis almost because I don't know. I feel like I was in my head so much and I just felt really upset. I just was crying a lot and I just felt so sick all day. I had a bad headache and I felt like I was gonna like throw up like the whole day. And I just wasn't feeling good like mentally, which was like affecting me physically. I kept feeling like I'm a loser and nobody likes me and like what am I going to do with my life because I feel like I am trying to figure out like what am I going to do in like the future and all that because I feel like the job I do have, I can't have that job forever. So I feel like I am trying to figure out like my next step, but I feel like the future is just like stressing me out because it's just like I feel like with COVID there's just so much that's unknown right now. And I just feel like COVID has made everything so much harder. I mean, it's made everything hard for everyone, but I feel like especially young people because, like, so many of us, like, we were going to say study abroad or whatever we were going to do, and, like, now we can't do that. And yeah, sure, I guess there are technically other things we can do now. We can find other ways, but there are just simply some things we just can't do now because of COVID, and I feel like that makes it harder, you know? Like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with school. Like, personally, if I go back to school, I want to do it online because I just don't feel safe going to a campus. And some of the campuses that have opened up here and had school, they've had to just shut down, like, within like a week because, like, students get COVID and give it to each other, and then it's just a mess. So if I had to go to like a real college, I just wouldn't feel safe because I would just feel like, oh, someone's probably gonna, spread COVID, and then I'm gonna be a target and everything. So yeah, and just like also now, like I feel like in America, people are just like annoyed at this point. Like most people now, they're not wearing masks. Plenty of people still don't want to get vaccinated. Like one of my friends, she lives in Texas, and she was like, I saw this lady on the news saying how she refuses to get vaccinated, and she was like, "Oh, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go." And it's like, wow, like that just really shows, I think, how selfish some people in this country are. It's like you would rather die from COVID than just get a simple vaccine. Like, really? And it's frustrating too because it's like the vaccine is free here, so people can't use the excuse of, oh, well, I don't have money, insurance doesn't cover it, because it's like it doesn't matter if you don't have money, it's still free anyway, you know? And like, I guess technically it still might not really be free because you'll have to go somewhere to like get the vaccine. So like if you have to get an Uber or something, that would cost money. But still, I just feel like some people are just they're just being selfish, honestly. Like they're not thinking about everyone else. They're just thinking about like what they want to do. Like, and I think what's so weird about America is like in a way I feel like I don't want to say we've been doing everything wrong, but I feel like we've done quite a few things we shouldn't have, and I feel like we haven't really gotten punished for it. Like there are still plenty of countries that are allowing Americans to come and everything, and it's just so weird. Like I just think it's weird how we're essentially kind of being bad, selfish people and we're not really getting punished for it. I mean, it just shows how, like, money sadly seems to matter more than people's health and safety. And I think it's just sad what's going on right now. I mean, all over the world, not just America, but I think it's just frustrating, like, how so many people just, like, refuse to try to do their part. They're just like, nope, I'm gonna do what I want. And it's just, I think that's just what's so hard right now. Like, there's just so much that's out of control. And I feel like that's kind of why I had sort of like my breakdown, because I felt like I was trying to think about what am I going to do for my future. And like, because I don't know, I felt upset because it's like, I got to figure it out. Like, when it comes to COVID, I try not to, I like avoid stuff about it on the news and on social media, especially all the stuff about death, because I don't need to hear about death all the time. Like, obviously, I'm aware people die every day, but that doesn't mean I need to hear about, every single stat of every single disease and death, because if I heard that all the time, I don't think I would be here, because I think that would just affect my mental health and make me feel like, why even bother, you know? So I like, that's something I did early on when COVID started, was like I avoided all the stuff about death, because it's like I just didn't want to hear about it. It's not that I don't care, but I just felt like constantly hearing about death, I knew that was not going to help me. So I feel like that's one of the best things I've done for myself since like COVID started, is like avoid the stuff like that, because it's like that's not going to make me feel better. That's not going to, you know, make me feel like things are going to be okay. I mean, would anyone feel okay if they were constantly hearing about people dying? No. And just, yeah, I feel like I have a lot to figure out, and I'm just trying to figure everything out. And I feel like it's hard too, because I feel like I'm at this place in my life where I feel like everyone wants to like give me advice and tell me what to do, but I feel like no one wants to like listen to me and like listen to like what I want and what I want to do. And it's like, does what I want even matter? Does anyone care about what I want or what I need or what's going to help me for my future? I don't, like, I hate to say it, but it doesn't really feel like it when everyone just wants to tell me, oh, you should do this or you should do that. I don't know. And like, I know people mean well sometimes, but it can be frustrating if you're just trying to talk to someone, just express how you feel, and then they just want to jump in and give you like this long list of all the stuff you need to do. It's like sometimes I feel like you just want to talk to someone just to kind of get what you're feeling off your chest, not because you want them to be like a superhero and be like, okay, here's the plan, here's what we're gonna do. Sometimes I feel like you just need to talk and like get what you're feeling out of your system, And just, yeah, and also I had a little party for my birthday on Friday, on October 8th, and like nobody showed up to it. So that didn't help me either. I felt like such a loser. I mean, technically, I did have one person try to show up, but since they live more out in the country, their truck got stuck in the mud. So they were kind of just stranded and they weren't able to come. So technically, I did have one person try to come. But yeah, I felt kind of disappointed about that. Like, it was meant to be a small party anyway. I wasn't expecting a lot of people to come. But I did feel dumbed. Gosh, I did feel bummed that nobody came, because it's like I was looking forward to it, you know. Like, I tried to have like reasonable expectations, but I figured at least a few people would show up, because I had like 3 or 4 people who said they were going to come, and then like nobody came. So that just kind of hurt my feelings. Like, I think it just sucks, honestly, when people like make a promise and then they break it, because it's like, how can I trust you? I mean, I feel like people talk all the time about how lying is bad, and like lying is bad, don't get me wrong. But I think for me what hurts more is like when people make a promise and they make it seem like, "Oh, I'm going to do this. I got your back. I'm going to help you. I'm going to go to this party or whatever," and then they don't, because it's like, how am I supposed to trust you and believe what you say then? You know? And like, I don't feel like the people who promised that to me were lying. Like, I get that things come up sometimes, but I don't know. I think for me, like, it just really hurts when people break their promise. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like when people like break their promise, I feel like I kind of lose a little respect for them. And if they do it multiple times, it's like, I don't have much respect for you anymore, because you say one thing and then you do another. It's like that saying where it's like all talk, no action. I feel like that's what some people are like. It's like you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. Like, you say one thing and then you do another. It would be like if someone was like, I'm vegan, like I could never, eat a burger or something because that's bad. And then you see them, like, I don't know, McDonald's eating a McDouble or something. I'd be like, that's a little hypocritical, but okay. But yeah, I feel like I've just been trying to like figure out like my next move with everything, and just, I don't know, like trying to think about the future, because I feel like I can't just be too in the moment. But it's also like the future, I feel like, is freaking me out, and there's just so much unknown, and I just feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, to be honest. And I can't help but feel like a failure and a loser, which is really bad. It's just hard because I feel like there's so much pressure for like young people too. Like, I feel like when you're a kid, people are like more willing to help you. But then when you're an adult, it's like, oh, you should know how to do this. You should know how to do that. Like, I don't feel like people are as willing to like help when you're older, if you know what I mean. It's ironic too because I feel like people always are like, oh, if you need help, ask for help. But then, like, if you ask for help, you get judged. So it's like, if I don't ask for help, I struggle. But if I ask for help, then I get judged and criticized. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I don't know. Like, that's why I feel like, too, like, we just need, like, less judgment in the world. Like, I feel like COVID has just really brought out the worst in people because everyone's just mad right now. Everyone's mad and frustrated. And I feel like a lot of people are taking it out on people online and in real life and just being really mean and nasty. And it's really sad because, like, I can see how it's, like, affecting mental health because it's, like, rates of different things. I don't want to get into it, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Rates of different and certain things have been going up, if you know what I mean, because of like mental health. And like that to me shows how it's like we got to do better, guys. Like we got to be nicer to each other. We can't be so quick to just judge each other. And then I think something that I think everyone needs to work on, everyone, is just that if you have an assumption about something, that is not a fact. Just because you assume something or think something does not mean it's true. Like you could look at someone and maybe assume that, they're 18 when in reality they could be like 30. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe I wasn't the best example, but I feel like because most people are pretty biased to like their own thoughts, opinions, and assumptions, sometimes I think, people think about something so much, they kind of trick themselves into thinking, oh, that's a fact, when like it isn't. So I think people just need to remember that, it's okay to have assumptions. I'm not saying you can never assume anything about anyone, but I feel like you need to remind yourself, like, this is not a fact. Like, unless this person, I guess, addresses that assumption or you actually talk to them about it and they, give you like a straight answer about it, then it's like you have to remember, like, it's not true. It's just what you think. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm back. My finger started bleeding, so I had to put some band-aids on it. Anyway, but yeah, it's just been a lot. I feel like just trying to figure out, what I'm gonna do and just trying to like take care of my mental health because I just feel like my mental health hasn't been good lately and it's like been affecting me physically. And I feel bad because I feel like I haven't been able to post on my channel as much as I would like to. And that makes me feel bad because it's like I don't want to let you guys down. Like, I think that's what's been kind of hurting me the most in a way is just like not wanting to let people down. Like, I feel like that's kind of like, I don't know if it's a fear or concern, but I feel like that's something that's kind of always in the back of my head. And I kind of feel like that has to do with like being in the South because like I feel like, I mean, I think this is kind of global, but I feel like especially in the South, it's like, I feel like girls are definitely raised to be like people pleasers and like to, just kind of do what people tell you to do and like don't be difficult and like, don't cuss because that's not ladylike and don't do this, don't do that. So I feel like just kind of having all this stuff sort of drilled into you at like a young age, I feel like it's like as I'm older now, I feel like I can see how that's like affected me. Like, especially with saying no, like, I feel like I struggle with saying no sometimes because I feel like, if you say no, then you can be seen as selfish or difficult or a bitch or whatever. And it's just like, it's just frustrating. I think lately I just feel like whatever I do, it's like a lose-lose. Like, if I do this, then this person's going to be unhappy. Or if I do this, I'm going to be unhappy. It's like, I just feel like I can't win either way. And just like, I feel like with my job, I feel like a lot of people that I work with are kind of like, I wouldn't say judgy, but kind of gossipy. Like, I see how they gossip sometimes, and it makes me feel like I'm in high school in a way. Like, I just try to ignore that stuff and stay away from it because I'm not really into like trash talking people. But yeah, I don't know. it's just a lot. I feel like when you constantly have people like kind of just dumping like their opinions and thoughts on you, especially when it's like strangers. Because, you know, sometimes I've had customers like ask me how old I am, and then they, sorry about that, my camera cut out. I was just trying to say that I feel like it can be hard when you have like all these different people trying to like tell you what to do and who like judge you based on, you know, how you're living your life or like what kind of decisions you've made. Like, and I was trying to say, like, I feel like here in the South, it's like very normal for people here to get like married young. Like, there's someone I know who's 20 and she's about to get married this week and everything. And just like, I just feel like there's kind of a lot of pressure in a way. It's like, it's kind of like if you don't live your life a certain way, it's almost like you don't exist or you don't matter. And like, I don't know, like, it does freak me out sometimes because it's like, you know, am I ever going to get married? Am I ever going to have kids? Like, I don't know. Like, who knows what the future holds? And like, I don't know if anyone would want to marry me, honestly. Like, I could see myself like having a family, but I could see myself being like a single mom because I just don't think anyone's gonna want to marry me. And I also feel like I'd rather adopt anyway. So I could see myself maybe when I'm like older and financially settled, like adopting a child or something. Like I don't know. It's it's a lot to think about, like, because I know I'm not getting any younger and all that. It's just a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like we need to be nicer to people. Like, everyone's life is different. Everyone has experienced different things. You can't expect everyone to like do the same thing at the same time. And I feel like also like when it comes to having kids, it's like it's a big deal. Like, it's a big commitment. And like there are people out there who like have kids and then they don't take care of them. And then those kids, you know, end up in bad situations, or you know, maybe when they're older they get into trouble because it's like they never had that stability at home. They never had anyone to like teach them right from wrong. So like I do feel like more people really need to think about like, can they handle kids? Because some people, they keep having kids but then they're not taking care of them. So it's like, frankly, I don't think that's responsible, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like your life, you can do what you want, but I just feel like, you know, some people like they say, "Oh, I want to have kids and all that." And then when they have kids, it's like they don't really seem to like take care of them or do that much for them. So it's like, why even have a kid if you're not going to take care of them, you know? Or if you're just going to complain about them all the time and be like, "Oh, I had to spend money on my kid." And it's like, "Well, hello. If you have kids, that's obviously going to cost money. Kids aren't free. It's not like you get $1 million for having a baby." So, you know, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video and stay safe. Bye.